Jaco, welcome back to Britain. Last time I think I saw
Thank you
you
very much.
at the Rainbow. Weather Report is an amazing band in that it's impossible to put a musical label on it. I don't know whether this is something you set out to do.
This is a very nice compliment. Thank you.
It's a team of 4 musicians.
Yes.
3 who were here on the last tour.
Exactly. Last 2 tours.
And a new addition this time round.
Peter Erskine, new drummer, which you saw.
I saw him with the Stan Kenton band. But I didn't realize until we were speaking just a moment ago that he was 18 when he was playing with the Kenton band.
Yeah, I just celebrated his 24th birthday a few days ago in Los Angeles. It's about 2 months ago now. And unbelievable. This cat can play no more drums than nobody.
The basic band, though, the other 3 of you have been together for quite a while now.
I've been in the band almost 3 years now. And Wayne and Joe have been together for 7 years.
Right, because it's Wayne Shorter who's playing reed instruments.
Yeah, all the woodwinds, yeah.
And I can never pronounce Joe's surname.
Zavinul.
Yeah, who's playing every keyboard that's been built in the last 25 years.
He's the master. He's the cat. He's the cat, man. He can play all that stuff. He's the only guy that can do it.
But who is the guide? Is there one out of the 4 which is the guiding light? Is it Joe, or does everybody have an equal chance?
It would probably be Joe, if there is. But right now, I think probably Joe and myself, we're more or less taking most of the weight, We's doing all the recording and co-produce, I co-produced the last 2 albums. Mm-hmm. And Joe and I, we get along really good. We play ping pong, you know what I mean? So,
because Heavy Weather was the last album. Mr. Gone is the brand new
That's
album.
it. Just as I understand, CBS blew it, and the record ain't out yet. What a drag, But this is the greatest album to date, Mr. Gone. You got to check this out.
The music that you do collectively perform, but individually write, seems to have a coherence between the 4 members. No matter who's writing it, no matter who's producing it, it's still very much Weather Report.
You're right. I agree totally.
Yeah, I just wonder how it is possible for 4 creative people to come in that direction. It's
we're nice guys.
Oh, that's
we get along very good together, and it's like I come into the band, like, for instance, you said I co-produced the last 2 albums, and Heavy Weather, I did not come into this session as a co-producer. I just came in as bass player. Mm-hmm. And Joe and I got along so good in the studio. Joe said, "Jaco, you got to stay here, man. Let's do this," because it was eminent, is the word, that this stuff was going to be really for real. And that's about how it goes, you see. So when I come into that session, I came in like a complete coward. I came in like, Joe and Wayne, they're Weather Report's leaders for 7 years, and I come into the band, so my music was like an apology, you know what I mean? And I just said, well, I've got a lot of music at home, and whatever ain't on the record from Wayne and Joe, I have to fit in. It's sort of a drag in a way, but this is how I felt, because I'm sort of too nice, I come in, too polite is actually the word. I come in with Teen Town and Havonin, and these are some good tunes, and this is the way it goes.
Because you got a couple of your compositions on the new album, River People and Punk Jazz, are your own compositions.
Yes.
One thing about your playing, which as a lapsed bass player, having given up, is that you've taken one of the few people who've taken the bass guitar as a solo instrument. I don't mean just the bass player will now do a quick 32 bars to prove that he's standing on stage for some other reason. Just
no way.
You use it as a melody instrument, though.
That's it. You're right.
Which is a new thing. With that instrument.
Boy, No, it isn't a new thing. It's just me. It's like people say, "Jaco, man, what the hell are you up to, man?" And because I play this bass, I play fretless bass, a bass guitar, but it ain't got no frets on it. So it's like I got a wood bass, but I got an electric bass at the same time. You see. And,
so you've got the power of the electric bass.
I got the power of the electric bass.
This is exactly it. A double bass.
That's it, exactly, man. And I used to be like playing, and I could never play with no drummer. I played acoustic bass, and it was, you'd be killing yourself, and you never were heard. And hey, man, I don't like to be like that. I like to show up, So I got my bass together. I took my frets out just about 9.5 years ago. I've been playing fretless bass. Therefore, I'm the only cat that can play it, because everyone now is trying to copy what I'm up to.
But who were your musical influences? I mean, you say you are the man who plays fretless bass, but there have been great bass players and great guitar players in the past.
Believe it or not, and this is no funny shit at all. I never listen to no bass players. I just listen to music.
Right.
You know, most of the music I know, believe it or not, I learned from TV. I swear as I'm sitting here, man.
How do you mean?
Because you just listen, you hear, and there are great writers that are writing on TV in America, some of the best writers. I mean, Henry Mancini, people, you know, Mr. Hagen. I mean, there's some bad writers, and you hear this shit, the Dick Van Dyke Show or Wonderful World at Disney. These people are writing some beautiful music, you know. And as a baby, I heard this shit because we didn't even own a radio. I was very poor, you know, and I didn't have no record player. And my parents broke up when I was very young. My daddy, man, sang just like Sinatra. You know, so Frank Sinatra is probably my first influence. And then Elvis Presley. And then I moved to Florida when I was 7. And then there's James Brown, Beatles. And, you know, these sort of people. Miles Davis, these are my favorite. Stravinsky, these are my favorite people. And in that exact order, that's how I got them, what I just told you.
I don't think you can get a wider musical spectrum than James Brown, the Beatles, Miles Davis, and Stravinsky. But it's obviously produced a creative mind within your head that produces some amazing sound.
I never had no plan, you see. I just played I just went out and gigged, you know. I was like working. I've never been out of work. This is my brag. I got 2 brags. One of them is I've never been out of work since I'm 15, which is true.
That's pretty good in the music business, yeah.
I've never been out of work, and the other one is I'm formally self-taught.
Formally self-taught? No lessons?
I've never had a music lesson in my life, and I taught at 3 colleges in America. You know, so...
That is something up. That is something else.
But I learned from my friends, man, on the street. You know, I come in, the first chart I ever wrote, man, I had like I wrote an A. You know what I mean?
Well, not
B,
the
no notes. I didn't know anything about it, man. And I put this up in front of a trumpet player, and he says, what is this shit? You know what I mean? And I says, well, this is the tune we're going to play, you know, because I was always writing music. Since I was 15, I was also composing, okay? And he says, you can't do this. And then he taught me. He didn't teach me, but he showed me, because it took, you know, I had to study it myself. And he put this shit on a paper, man, and he said, every good boy does fine, right? You know, and that's how I learned to read, man. I swear, as I'm saying, I'm one of the best readers in the world.
That is amazing. It's also frightening to read a bass player and read treble clef, because I have to translate everything into bass clef before I start.
Yeah, I read treble clef because of Joe Zawinul, man. Because Zawinul writes all his shit in the treble clef, and I got to read it. You know, like Birdland, for instance, the melody, man. He said, you know, Jaco, I want you to do this, and then I hit the false harmonics, and I sight-read that all in the treble clef. One take, man. Birdland is one take. One of the greatest tunes ever. We did it in one take.
Straight on the machine, thank you, and go and have a beer.
That's it. As simple as it. No, as a matter of fact, we were drinking red wine that day.
On that, I think I must find out the name of your wine merchant, Jaco Pastorius. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.